You see, I think all my five senses work really well. I can see, I can touch, I can hear, I can smell, and I can taste this world. Now, what my brain then makes of all these inputs is the realization that I am alive, I exist. I experience this experience all around me through my five senses. I seem to be some sort of a living, breathing, tasting, eating thing, and then there are others like me. And we seem to be flying through an endless space on a rocky magnet. With our short lifespans, we can accomplish amazing things. Or nothing noteworthy at all. Why? What's the point of all this? Whoa, man. Meaning of life. That's one deep topic to get into in your third video, man. Yeah, but it's a question that has been bugging me ever since I was little. I feel the need to take a stance on it. I feel I have to believe in something. And I have to get this off my chest before it drives me nuts. You see, when I could get an answer to this simple question, then I could move on with my life. I want to be a graded person. So that means it's really relevant to get a peace of mind, to move into this quiet place where I can draw my inspiration from, where I can hear the ideas. Because right now my mind is filled with bugging noise, and the energy that I'm gonna put out into my books, my arts, my blog posts, my everyday life, into these videos, it's gonna be fueled by my core beliefs, which determines their quality. And finding my purpose would give a clear direction to this channel as well, and let you guys know where I stand and what you can expect of me. So I took 3 weeks, and every possible moment I had, I thought about the meaning of life and the point of all this. Really hard. Let's get into it. First of all, the questions. What is the meaning of life? What is the purpose of life? What's the point of life, really? Do you ask yourself these questions? Do you even care of finding out the answers? Some people really don't. And it's fine. Going after anything is a personal choice. And some people are kind of irritated about the question. And I understand it's kind of pointless to think about all these philosophical mind games when life is, all your everyday life is struggle, survival, and you have many mouths to feed. What's the point of it then? Then again, a lot of people kind of start thinking about these things when life gets rough and tough and bends you over. Some people then again might have more easier lives, more chilled out lives, and that also can deter them from thinking about all this philosophical mumbo jumbo. After all, life is good, ignorance is bliss. And what if there actually was an answer somewhere between the dusty books or whatever that gave you an answer, but you didn't like it? Would it be better then if life had no purpose or meaning at all than for you to follow some predetermined path that you have to take? But I care. I want these answers. I don't know when this curiosity bug crawled under my skin, but I have to know. And I'm so grateful that I don't have to struggle every day for survival, so I can think about these things. So now, when I was really focusing on it, I took a look around. I took a look around outside, I took a look around inside, and before I tell you what pattern I've seen throughout my life and what belief I finally taken on, I want to tell you what I observed with my little research. Let's observe the cosmos first. From nothing came everything. We don't know why. We do know though that the universe is a big place. Maybe endless, maybe not. Science always comes up with new stuff, and our understanding of things may change in time. Everything always changes, remember that. Right now it is noted, however, that cosmos is expanding in ever-increasing speed, thanks to something called dark energy. Stars turn into white dwarfs and then black dwarfs and then fade out. Black holes fizzle out through Hawking radiation or turn into white holes for the brief moment and then gone. At some point in a distant future, let's call it forever from now, all the life in the universe will fade out and there's nothing left but the darkness that it once was in the beginning. Tell me, does the falling tree in the forest make a sound if there's nobody around to hear it? If there was no life left in the universe to observe all of it, what would be the point? Just a space full of dead things. No point at all, I tell you. Cheer up. Maybe there's another big bang out there and the cycle begins again. Who knows? Bada bing, bada boom. Yeah?
Now let's observe life. NASA's Kepler Space Telescope, which launched in 2009, has revealed that there might be more planets than stars in the galaxies in the universe. Now, researchers at Penn State University in Pennsylvania concluded that there might be over 10 billion Earth-like planets in our galaxy. Some estimate that there are more than 2 trillion galaxies in the observable universe.
Now the galaxies, they kind of form these clusters that might resemble brain neural networks. Yet, so far, we seem to be the only ones alive. We seem to be the only ones here. Great filter? It's just a happy accident that we are here? Or maybe the space is just too damn big. So statistically speaking, the universe should be full of life. And if there's life out there, there should definitely be an intelligent life. And if there's intelligent life, do they ask the same questions? Do they ask about the meaning of life? And would they have figured out all of it already?
Now let's observe us humans. On the time span of cosmos, our existence here is less than a fraction of a blink. We came from the hot soup of the oceans, where atoms were turned into molecules, and some of those molecules were turned into DNA molecules.
Now, DNA molecule is a special kind of molecule. It can replicate itself and it can spread out. Now, the beauty of a DNA molecule is that it's imperfect. It's imperfections. Every billion runs that it does, it makes an error, which means that it's learning.
But the power of evolution and complexity of things started to grow, then move around, then swim, then crawl, then walk around 2 legs. We are born and then we die. Some live extraordinary lives, helping the human race further with invention and ideas and exploration, tools and their actions. Others live ordinary lives, finding meaning in small things like raising a family, helping build roads, or some such.
Well, what is the meaning of all this? Maybe the shortness of our lives gives it meaning. Maybe death gives it meaning because it plays such an important role in our lives. What if we would live forever? What would be the meaning then? And speaking of living forever,
the story you are about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed.
Well, we can't really talk about the meaning of life without touching the subject of religion now, can we? Because there is a big group of people out there who have contemplated on the meaning of existence for thousands of years, and some believe deeply that their answer is the correct one. There, of course, exists another group called the philosophers as well, that have contributed even more to the subject. But I want to follow that rabbit hole in another video, as I will be doing lots of philosophizing here myself.
Well, let's see here. The trustworthy Wikipedia lets us know that there might be around 4,200 different religions, churches, faith groups, tribes, etc. Well, here's a small list if you're interested about all the faiths that there are out there, and the list, I'm sure it's growing as we speak. So more than 85% of people in the world believe into something bigger, something greater, a mystical, supernatural force that is all around us, that helps us, guides us, listens to our prayers when we're sad, and gives us solace when things get rough. So let's see, what are the 4 most popular religions in the world, and what do they think about the meaning of life?
Coming in at number 4, we have Buddhism with over 500 million followers. Their core beliefs state that life is full of suffering, but we can escape it if we leave desire behind. Living in the right path allows us to achieve enlightenment. That means escape the cycle of reincarnation and suffering. We need to be compassionate and aid others in their journey towards enlightenment. It teaches us not to cling on anyone or anything for happiness. Things and people disappear.
So in short, Buddhism: live kindly, live compassionately, live without desire, and live happily. And that's the true meaning of life in Buddhism. My take on it, I accept that without having suffered, we can't really feel true compassion towards others.
And at the third place we have Hindus with more than 1.1 billion fans. In Hinduism there is not just one goal of human life but four. The first is called Dharma, which is acting morally and ethically throughout one's life. Well, they also feel that they have to pay a debt to gods, parents, guests and other humans and living beings. Now, the second one is Artha, which is pursuit of wealth and prosperity, but in accordance with the moral code, so don't step on nobody to climb. Third one is Kama, basically means to find enjoyment in life. And fourth one is Moksha, also similar to Buddhists, try to achieve enlightenment in this life or the next to escape the cycle of reincarnation to finally unite with God.
Hinduism it's complex yet very elegant, and I think now we start to see the patterns come to life, that all the religions in the world might share common beliefs, common traits, but yet they are in different flavor.
Alright, second place on this heavyweight championships of the world belongs to the Muslims with 1.8 billion people on the planet bowing towards Mecca. They follow the holy scriptures of Quran, which they believe to be the literal words from their Allah, meaning the God. They try to live righteous lives, improve themselves and appreciate His blessings in order to get to heaven. It's a complete system that guides your every move from the moment you wake up to the moment when you're going to sleep. Worship the God and hold no others next to Him. Strict and simple.
What I like about Muslims when I did the research is they will give you strict codes of how to live, yet it's not a blind faith. The Quran asks man to follow his logic and his reasoning and to have faith, and I can get behind that.
And the most popular religion goes to, of course, the Christians with over 2.3 billion. Can I get a hell? Christians are split mostly into three main branches of Catholic, Protestant and Eastern Orthodox. They follow a book called the Bible, heard of it? But interpret it in different ways, and so the meaning of life is also a bit different. But the main idea is that we are all made from God's image, so in a sense we are her children, and we must follow His teachings and live a good life in order to spend eternity in happiness in His presence. Or hers.
So as a conclusion, I think that all main four are very similar to each other. They all want you to follow the codes, follow the God, be happy, get to heaven, be one with them, or escape the cycle of reincarnation. I myself, I don't follow any religion. I have nothing against the God or the gods, but for me the authority figures in the sky telling us what to do or what to believe in kind of makes me feel not free. You know what I mean? I am also not an atheist. An atheist is a person who rejects the belief that a supernatural being or divine being exists. I find that religion can be a beautiful tool. It can help us out of our dark days of sadness and grief. It gives us wonderful codes to live by, like don't kill, don't steal, don't lie, help a fellow man out. That's beautiful. In my opinion, it makes this life more complex, more spicy, and more alive. The problems start to arise when a group of people take some ideology into their own extreme spectrum, end of the spectrum, and then we have suicide cults that start to rise up. Then we have holy wars where the love of Christ has to be brought to your heart by violence and by swords. Or somebody of the government starts consulting a spaghetti monster in the clouds and start making real world impacting decisions. What then? Then it's just a little bit too much spice, eh? And then there are numerous people out there who have switched faiths, who have taken on faiths because they didn't have one before, or who have lost faiths. And what about their meaning of life? What do they believe in then? It all constantly changes. I don't hold any faith or religion, yet I find that believing in some mystical force brings more peace into my heart and makes this world more interesting. I do value cold facts and logic and reasoning and science, yet like Mulder in X-Files, I want to believe. groups of people believe in something, but what about individuals? Individuals, what do they think about this stuff? In 2017 there were over 7.5 billion on the planet. Now there are surely more, and each of them holds an idea slightly different from the rest.
Here are some of the famous ones. The founding father of the United States, author of the Declaration of the Independence, and the third president of US believed that every man and woman should seek out their own good life of independence and not complicate things in the process. The Dalai Lama said, "Our prime purpose in this life is to help others, and if you can't help them, at least don't hurt them." Mr. Terminator: "The meaning of life is not to simply exist, to survive, but to move ahead, to go up, to achieve, and to conquer." Mahatma Gandhi believed that every moment of your life is infinitely creative and the universe is endlessly bountiful. Just put forth a clear enough request and everything your heart desires must come to you. One of my favorites, getting shit done and being happy.
I am also blessed to have wonderful friends, and during my winter vacation, 3 weeks where I thought about all this crazy marba jabba doba, I took a chance and asked my friends and family what meaning they find in life. So let us travel back in time, shall we?
Tell me, what do you think is the purpose of life?
To complete the human evolution and attain the God consciousness. Because in the universe everything functions like a brain, and the humans have been in the cycle of life 19 times 26,000 years. And now it's time to get through the atomic gate to the advanced dimensions, where you live like a god, or creating everything what there is. But you have to go through all the examinations before attain the infinite tolerance, infinite patience, infinite humility, and infinite love.
So what's the meaning of life to you?
It's very basic things. I guess it's just be healthy every day and not go sick. Have friends who surround you and you can meet with your friends and be happy. Traveling is a big part for me. Because when I travel I get to meet new cultures, new people, and that really excites me. So to me, meaning of life are the very basic things, really. I don't think about the aliens not much, okay? I don't really care, you know, what meaning for life for other people is. For me it's a bit more basic.
Nice.
Listen, so fucking tired now of these questions. Purpose of life is to be happy. I guess to be happy and to do whatever makes you happy. It's not always actually possible to do whatever makes you happy, but you at least have to try. And that's pretty much it, I guess.
Family. Yeah, definitely. Build a family and continue this binds. So the children will have their children and their children will have their children. And to make it, you need to be sure that you have enough of resources to do that. I mean, the money, of course, the good living place, and of course good conditions. To make it, you need to earn a lot, so you need to work or have a good paid job. All those things combined are creating a tool, the tool that will help you to build a family. So sometimes I think that the whole point of the life is actually to make children, but if you have all those ingredients combined together as a tool, you can do it, and then it will bring you happiness. And if you're happy, everything is great.
Time to leave the paradise.
Thank you so much to my friends and to my family. What is my meaning? I once read this book called Conversations with God by Neil Donald Walsh. I remember I was around 14 back then, and it was given to me for my birthday. And this book, the God was not a white dude chilling on a cloud, but some primal force of intellect or intelligence or something. It was so chill and so warm and so inviting. The guy was cool. Now, throughout my life I've heard many theories about the meaning of life, but this one stuck with me. So I want to tell you the story that I read from the book and that I find the most, it synchronizes with me. And bear in mind, I think I read the story about 17 years ago, so I might be a little bit off, but this is how I remember it.
In the beginning there was nothing. Only this greater thing was there, nothing else. The greater thing being this infinite wisdom or intelligence or whatever. You can call it God, Bob, whatever. I'll call it it. It knew that it was all that is, and it was magnificent and powerful and kind and a badass. But that was not enough for it. It could only know that it was the greatest thing, but could not actually experience it. Was it actually a good being, or brave, or gentle? Without the hardship in our lives, do we ourselves know if we are survivors if faced with the difficulties, or are we runners who always seek the easier fight? Do we rush into the burning building to save somebody? Do we hand back the found wallet with all the money inside if we were struggling to pay our last month's rent? Since there was no outside source to compare itself with, the great and magical being chose to find a reference point within itself. By dividing itself into smaller pieces, it could observe itself from afar, like we might observe some microorganisms under a microscope and feel a bit like gods over these little creatures. The book described it as the Big Bang, when this magical being decided to divide itself into countless pieces. Who knows, there could be other theories in the future about the origins of the universe, but I kinda like it. And so there it was, Big Bang. Lots of particles, pieces of the God are flying around and having interactions, relationships with each other. And through the interactions, the majestic intelligence can finally experience itself. And with it, it also created this great polarity I touched on my first video. In order to feel the pure love, which the author claims to be God, it needed to create the exact opposite as well. So everything that love is not, meaning fear, anger, hate, sadness, etc., which some religions might refer to as evil or the devil. And since we are also part of it, we are also gods in a sense. We can also create worlds within ourselves and around us. Our minds work in wonderful ways, and who knows what we can imagine in the next 100 years or so. So the only meaning is the one that we give it. Unexamined life is not worth living, but if what you only do is examine, then you are not living. Whether the universe started from a Big Bang or something else we have not yet discovered, the idea that some infinitely greater intelligence just wants to experience itself, and we are part of him, sounds very hippie freedom, and I love it.
Now I remember this book being a wonderful book. It made me warm, it made me smile, and the thing, the God, the force, it was a wonderful being. It didn't ask anything from me. It just wanted me to live my life to the fullest. It was not about finding out who you are. It was about what do you want to become? What do you want to create? So I wholeheartedly recommend this book. It gave me so much joy. The link, if you want it in Amazon, is down in the description, and I'll be getting myself another copy as well. Okay, finally, what is the meaning? What is the purpose? What is the point in life? Whether there is some supernatural force out there, doesn't matter. We have all won the lottery. It is a blessing, whether you believe it or not. This life, it's a ride, and you are on it, whether you like it or not. Now you can enjoy it, or you can scream your head off. So what gives life meaning? My observations and logic tells me that there is no other meaning in life than to just keep on living and experiencing the life as much as possible. It's whatever you choose, and if you want to feel good doing it, good. If you want to feel bad doing it, also good. If loving your family gives your life meaning, good. If building a career gives your life meaning, good. If consuming media, watching videos on YouTube, watching TV, listening books, audiobooks on Audible gives your life meaning, and you have no regrets for the time wasted, and you truly enjoy it and you're truly happy, then hey, great, do it. For me, my life's meaning is I want to live on the positive end of the spectrum, I want to surround myself with kind-hearted, passionate people, and I want to keep learning, and I want to keep exploring this world. I'm so happy to be alive. I'm so happy for this chance to experience this life, to experience the good things and the bad things. So, what is the purpose in life? There is no purpose in life. Not God-given, not your parents given, not social given. You came to this world like everybody else, and you're gonna leave from this world like everybody else.
If in the meantime you find that your purpose is to fight for freedom in the army, that's your right. If your purpose is to bake the most delicious cookies, that's what it is. If you want to teach, sing, dance, play football, do it. If you are tired of one thing, then change it. If you feel you don't have a purpose, find one, or not.
For me, the purpose of life is I want to master something. I want to master my life, my emotions, and I want to master some sort of a skill. And I want to get so good at doing it so I can help others, to teach others the same. And I'm going to tell about mastering some sort of a skill in my future videos. And 3, what's the point of life? Well, you get the point.
Statistically, universe should be full of life. If so, it will continue to have life for what might seem like an eternity. So, do you think that what we do right now will matter after 4 billion years in the future? If we were the only ones, then it's a lot of wasted space.
On my final days, when I look back at my life, I don't want to have any regrets. I want to know that I lived my life to the fullest, and I helped somebody's life to make their life a little bit easier, to make their life a little bit better. I want to create stuff, I want to explore stuff, and I want to help others do the same if they so choose.
With this knowledge, now I am free. Now I am me.
So tell me, what gives your life meaning? What gives your life purpose? And have you figured out what the point of all this is? If you did, please do share it down in the comments. Let's get a dialogue going. And hey, if you're sexy, if you're cool, if you're kind, if you want to explore more, why not subscribe? And I see you in the next one.